So more than 10,000 millionaires left the UK in 2024. And in 2025, that number jumped to over 16,000. And they took something like $92 billion with them. If you're a business owner or you've got significant wealth and you're thinking about leaving, here's the things that you really need to get right. I'm Thyll from Ancova, and we help entrepreneurs and investors structure their exits from the UK properly. And I want to talk you through exactly what you need to do here, because the rules change a lot in 2024 and 2025. And if you mess this up, you'll still be paying UK taxes years after you actually left. So let's get into it. Okay, so before we get into the actual steps, I think it really helps to understand why over 16,000 people, wealthy people, left the UK in 2025. Because the reason behind it actually affects how you should plan your own exit. So in April 2025, the UK got rid of the non-dom regime. For like 200 years, if you were domiciled outside the UK, you could live there without paying tax on your overseas income. That's what attracted entrepreneurs, investors, business owners from all over the world. And Labour just killed it. Gone. Now, there is this new thing called the foreign income and gains regime, but it only gives you 4 years of relief. And if you've been outside the UK for 10 years before that, after those 4 years, you're now paying tax on everything worldwide. Then, October 2024, capital gains went up again. Lower rate jumped from 10 to 18%. The higher rate from 20 to 24%. So if you're selling a business, property, investments, you're paying way more now. And inheritance tax, starting 2027, inherited pensions get included. At 40%, that's a huge problem for families trying to pass on wealth. And look, I've personally watched business owners I know just pack up and leave. People who built businesses, created jobs, invested millions, they're now moving to Dubai, Portugal, or Monaco. I mean, just look at Nik Storonsky, the guy who founded Revolut. He built a company in London in 2015. He grew it to 65 million users. It's currently worth like $75 billion. And what did he do? He moved to the UAE. His stake is worth around 14 billion. And by leaving, he's potentially saving over 3 billion in capital gains tax. 3 billion. Just by simply changing where he lives. And he's not alone here. The owner of Aston Villa left too. The founder of Checkout.com moved to Monaco. Shipping billionaires, tech founders, they're all going. Because honestly, the UK government basically said, we don't want your wealth here. So when I talk about planning your exit, I'm talking about joining those 16,000 people who already made their choice. So let me show you how to do it the right way. Step 1. The 183-day rule and ties. Okay, first thing, you need to understand something called the Statutory Residence Test. This is what decides if you're still a UK tax resident or not. The magic number is 183 days. Now, why? If you spend 183 days or more in the UK in any tax year, you're automatically a UK resident. You're paying UK tax on everything. Worldwide income, business profits, capital gains, all of it. No exceptions. Now, if you're under 183 days, it gets more detailed. These are the automatic overseas tests. Like if you spend under 16 days and you were previously resident, you're non-resident. Under 46 days, and you weren't resident in the prior 3 years, same thing. But there's also automatic UK tests. If you have a UK home available for more than 90 days and you stay there at least 30 days, you're a resident now. If you work full-time in the UK, you're resident. And there's this thing called the sufficient ties test. This one catches a lot of business owners. There's 5 ties: family in the UK, accommodation, UK workdays, prior UK presence, and which country you spent the most time in. Here's what matters if you're a business owner. If you work more than 3 hours in the UK on 40 or more days, that's a tie. Board meetings count, client meetings count, working from a UK office counts too. The more ties you have, the fewer days you can spend in the UK. 4 ties, you're looking at like 15 days max. 3 ties, about 45 days. What I tell my clients is aim under 46 days in the UK per year and try to cut as many ties as you can. That gives you actually some breathing room so you're not constantly stressing about triggering residency. Now, the second step is timing your exit around business cycles. So the UK tax year runs April 6th to April 5th. And if you're a business owner, getting this timing right can literally save you hundreds of thousands. So if you're planning to sell your business, when you sell it compared to when you become non-resident is huge. Sell before you leave, you're paying UK capital gains at around 24%. Sell after you're non-resident and you're a zero tax place like the UAE, potentially zero tax on that whole gain. I've worked with entrepreneurs who saved over £500,000 just by timing their business sale right. So there is also something called a split year treatment. If you leave mid-year and meet certain conditions, only part of that tax year counts as UK resident. But you gotta structure it properly. Permanent relocation, setting up overseas residence, breaking UK ties. And look, this isn't just about the year you leave. You need to think 12 to 24 months ahead. If you're restructuring your business, selling assets, any big liquidity events, the planning needs to match up with your residency timeline. Now, the third step is restructuring your business and assets. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. You cannot just move abroad and hope it all works out. Your UK business, if you own, so for example, a UK company, it keeps paying UK corporation tax on its profits. That's normal. But here you got options. You can restructure offshore if your customers, for example, are international. You can set up holding company structures in better jurisdictions. You can change where management and control actually happens. I'll make you an example. I had a client with a tech business. All his clients were in the US and Europe, none in the UK. We restructured it so that the operating company sat under UAE structure with real substance outside the UK. He went from paying UK 25% corporation tax to a way more efficient UAE setup. On about 2 million annual profits, that's roughly £500,000 that are not going to the government anymore. Now, pensions. If you've built up a lot in pensions, look into QROPS transfers. That's a qualifying, recognized overseas pension scheme. It moves your pension completely outside of the government reach. Best to do this while you're actually still a UK resident. It's much cleaner from an admin point of view. Pick a QROPS jurisdiction that matches where you're going. UAE, Portugal, Malta, wherever. Now, if you look at the properties, if you own one in the UK, you need a plan. Because keeping them means ongoing UK tax on rental income. Selling triggers capital gains tax. So I usually recommend selling actually before you leave, if you can. The tax treatment is cleaner. You're not tied to UK assets and you can put that money to work in your new country. If you look at investments, on the other hand, if you got big investment portfolios, UK withholding tax on dividends continues even when you're non-resident. So you actually might want to restructure through international platforms or offshore structures. But remember, you need to check your destination country's rules too. If your wealth is tied to intellectual property, patents, trademarks, this needs special attention. Where the IP sits is how it's licensed, where royalties flow. And look, all of this matters. The fourth step is breaking UK ties systematically. For business owners and wealthy people, breaking ties is critical. And that's often very complicated. Let's start with family ties. This means relocating your spouse and kids with you. I know it's a big life decision, but if you want maximum flexibility on UK days, it's necessary. The accommodation tie, on the other hand, is business owners often keep a London flat for convenience. That's a tie if it's available for more than 90 days and you use it. So my recommendation is sell it or accept the die count limits. Work tie. Now, this is a big one. More than 3 hours of work on 40 or more days in the UK creates a tie. So if you're director of a UK company, every board meeting counts. Client meetings, they count too. You need to cut these or stay under 40 days total. And now let's look at the 90-day count. Now, if you spend more than 90 days in the UK in either of the prior 2 years, that's a tie. So your history before leaving affects your planning. And let's look finally at the country tie. Spend more days in your new country than in the UK. If you're moving, for example, to the UAE, that means actually being there, not just having the visa. And now the fifth step is double taxation treaties. The UK has tax treaties with over 100 countries. And understanding these matters a lot when you've got business income, investment income, or capital gains. I'll make you a quick example here. Say you move to the UAE. The UK-UAE tax treaty prevents double taxation. UAE has 0% income tax. So once you're properly non-resident in the UK, your business profits, investment gains, dividends, potentially all tax-free. But if you move to Portugal, that's where it's different. Their non-habitual resident thing taxes certain foreign income at a flat 20% for 10 years. The details actually depend on what kind of income and where it comes from. Here's what business owners need to watch. Where is your income actually generated? If you have a UK business with UK clients, that's UK sourced income. The treaty might still give the UK taxing rights even after you're non-resident. But if your business serves international clients and you restructure it offshore, that income can potentially fall outside UK tax completely. I know this stuff is complex, but every situation is different. So let's move to the sixth step, and that's ongoing compliance. When you've got multiple companies and entities, compliance can get messy. You need to tell the government that you're actually leaving. You'll file UK tax returns for your exit year. If you have UK companies, they keep filing UK returns even after you're gone. You actually should track every UK day. I actually tell my clients to use apps, keep spreadsheets, save every flight booking and hotel receipt. If HMRC ever challenges your non-residents, you need solid proof. If you keep UK rental properties, that's on your UK tax returns. If you keep directorship in UK companies, understand how that affects your work tie. Your new country has requirements too. UAE wants a meaningful presence for tax residency. Portugal, on the other hand, wants time in country. Malta actually has presence requirements. You cannot just get a visa and never show up. And look, if you're running an international business, you might have compliance in multiple places. UAE filings, European subsidiaries, US entities if you got American operations. This is where having a coordinated strategy across everything becomes very important. And now the seventh step is picking the right destination. Where you go matters a lot when you're running businesses or managing serious wealth. A lot of UK entrepreneurs are heading to the UAE. There is 0% personal income tax, 0 capital gains. The golden visa actually gives you a 10-year residency. So if you're running an international business or living off investments, the tax treatment is very hard to beat. I moved several of my own business interests to Dubai structures. The tax savings are massive. But beyond that, Dubai has become a legit business hub. It gives you access to Asia, Europe, and Africa. It's not just about tax, it's a strategic relocation. In Portugal, on the other hand, the non-habitual resident regime gives you a flat 20% on certain income for 10 years. Good for people who've sold their business and now live off investments or consulting. It gives you a great quality of life, EU member, and look, it's very stable. If you look at Malta, there is no tax on foreign income that you don't bring into Malta if you're a non-domicile. It's EU member, English speaking, and it offers you strong financial services. It's actually something very popular with people running international businesses. If you choose Cyprus, there is a 12.5 corporate tax rate, one of the lowest in the EU. If you got European clients or operation, Cyprus gives you good tax rates plus EU access. It's really attractive for tech companies, consulting, and international trading. Now let's look at Monaco. There you have 0 personal income tax, but it's expensive to get in. You need to show serious financial resources. It's very good for ultra high net worth people who've already had their big exit. So at the end of the day, each place has different implications for business structures, investments, or wealth management. You gotta match where you go to your specific situation. Let me tell you what I see successful people mess up all the time. Keeping UK board seats. Business owners stay on as directors and fly back for meetings. Each meeting is a UK workday. Hit 40 days and now you got a work type. That will actually limit how many days you can be in the UK in total. Not restructuring before you leave, so selling your business after you're non-resident sounds smart. But if it's a UK business with UK clients, the UK might still have taxing rights. So you have to restructure before you actually sell. Underestimating how complicated compliance gets when you've got multiple companies, properties, investments across different countries, this becomes almost a full-time job. You need a team that is going to be able to handle all of it. Now, you can still pick the wrong destination because you might be moving somewhere low tax, but that simply doesn't really fit your business. For example, if all your clients are in Europe and you move to the UAE, you might create operational headaches that cancel out the tax benefits. Therefore, doing it yourself when there's millions on the line, look, I've seen entrepreneurs try to handle £5 million exits on their own. And listen, one mistake in the structure cost them £300,000. Proper advice costs a fraction of what mistakes might cost. At Ancova, we start by mapping out your whole picture. Companies, assets, investments, income, family situation, and see how everything is taxed. Then we figure out the best jurisdiction for your setup and build a plan to structure businesses, move assets, and set up residencies. We handle offshore companies, IP, contracts, investments, and make sure you break UK ties without messing up your business. Our clients saved hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions in tax while building a structure that's ready for global growth. If this was helpful, hit like and subscribe. If you're a business owner or you've got significant wealth and you're planning to leave the UK, start this process now. Link in the description to book a consultation.